Hello folks and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today hopefully one very quick one. Um, yeah, let me check if we can see what's happening here. The weights ratio 30 days moving average didn't lift up anymore, so it maintains. However, we can see the weights ratio daily. It was, if we check, that was lifting up a lot, and now we see here it's an upward trend. I guess tomorrow it should go up again. Otherwise, it would surprise me, but we will see. However, then nothing is happening here. If it starts to retrace, in my opinion, my interpretation is they are done with actually with their preparation. And afterwards, we should see the consequences of their preparation. So a big nuke, in my opinion. And at the moment, it looks very stable, everything. So we are maintaining here, going more down, maybe then more up, and then down. But we need to see, as usual. Let us check more data. If we check the weights ratio 1 hour time frame, we see it was lifting up and it's declining right now. So the sell pressure should decline. I'm longing. I'm not sure if that's really the most smartest way to make some profit, to be honest. I just want to make a bit more money just to short even bigger afterwards. I'm not adding more funds, to be honest, since a while. So I'm just making more money to place that amount on futures. So if they are going to liquidate me, it's over. I'm not going to send more money to crypto, to be honest. It's not, it wasn't my plan, and I'm not going to change my plan. So I have my spot. The futures are just to make some money. Every time I'm making big gain, I just buy some spot with that, and that's it for long term. So as soon as they liquidate me, it's over. We will see how long it will take to liquidate me. I mean, I'm playing uh, almost safe using stop loss and so on and so forth, but it can happen very quickly. You forget the stop loss overnight. Happened once to me, as you know, and so we need to be careful here. However, also here we see what's happening, right? So we really need to be very careful. In my opinion, we will go up and see if it goes then, if it bounces to the downside or it has its breakout and goes up. So yeah, I think the local bottom could be in, and that's why I'm longing, of course, with low leverage. However, stablecoin reserves and exchanges still looking good. I mean, maintaining right now that range here since few days, but we did almost 500 millions. So we received 500 millions. We don't know if it's the exchange itself just to raise their reserves because they're, for example, expecting a sell-off or whatever, so a higher demand for stablecoins. Usually, when I see such big move, um, usually it's the exchange, but that happens when the exchange reserves are declining. That's not the case here. So maybe one whale wants to absorb as much as they can here, and that dip zone. But as mentioned, we need to see. It wouldn't surprise me if we go up just to retest the resistance again and then go down again. It's something we need to zoom out sometimes. Stablecoin supply maintains down, so not indicating any big activity here. Let us go forward and check the flows. So if we check the flow activity, we are not going to detect anything big. Just really, it wasn't really big. So we received some. I need to turn off this one. That was yesterday, but today really quiet. 400, 600, so nothing. The biggest here was 1,600 bitcoins this morning. Yesterday afternoon, almost 2,900. So, but the outflows, as you can see, is rising a lot. Well, people will sell, yeah, accumulation, moon next. Well, just ask yourself why the price is declining while they are buying, you know. So someone is selling, but it seems, I don't know, but it looks like they are using, as usual, multi-channel just to dump. So it's not only spot on centralized exchanges, it's OTC and so on and so forth. And usually the market maker is the entity that's using different channels to dump. So it wouldn't surprise me. However, absolutely not big. Yes, we have outflows. We always have outflows. The question is who is selling and why? That's the thing. Because if we check the entities and mainly the market maker entity, we will see something that was surprising me as well. So if we check, for example, here stablecoins, we received a lot of stablecoins, almost here 500 millions and another 150. So I'm maybe not that wrong, longing here just to go up a little bit more, maybe to 20,400 or something, maintain here and afterwards decline more. That's something we need to see. It's too early and we need to check more informations, but at the same time we also had big outflows. I mean, that's the net flow is almost should be neutral. If we check here, 219 millions, 325 millions, and here another 100 million. So if we check both, it's 550, 650. 650, if we check here, yeah, it's neutral. It's 650. So someone sold and the same they bought. So that explains then um, we don't have any gap here. And that's it. So let us check the next chapter. So also on futures, we can see that future funding rate is rising a lot since, well, that was, yeah, since yesterday, really a lot. That's really huge. At the same time, we see that the open interest declined. It's lifting up a little bit, and the leverage ratio also lifting up right now. If we take a look, for example, here to the stablecoins related to derivative exchanges, well, nothing big. Once again, a lot of stablecoin outflows, 250 million versus 130 million in inflows. So taking profit, it seems. That's why it's the net flow is so red. Well, it's becoming now more green, but still too red. And even here, nothing big. I mean, Bitcoin inflows 2,600, at the same time outflows 1,500 Bitcoins, and really nothing big here. So let us go forward and check what Blockchain Whispers and Kingfisher is showing. Wow, wow, that's crazy again. Well, many are expecting, I guess, the local bottom and are longing. That's crazy. We are 61 to 39. That's really crazy. 61 to 39. Huh, that's hardcore. Okay, so even here it's almost the same. 60 to 40 for Ethereum. Let us check what the Kingfisher is showing us. Ah, I can spin again. So for those who don't know, you can use the spin at the Kingfisher to have or to get some credits. With these credits, you can use the give me. Oh no, unfortunately not. Blue is the best. Of course, you can get 10 credits or 15 credits. Otherwise, the green ones are also very nice, but the red ones are pain. Try again later. You can do that every hour. So I still have 27 credits. That's enough. Let us check here the liquidation map now. Wow. Wow. Look that. Shorts. A lot of shorts, but at the same time a lot of longs here as well. Okay, I do it from the beginning. Let us see if that matches to FTX as well. Oops. Takes a little bit as usual. So if the short position is not showing up here on FTX, I would say on Binance side that's maybe some whales and retailers. Oh yes. At least I don't know if it's the same, but at least less volume. But we have this here, at least this one looks very accurate on FTX and Binance. So I'm not sure here and I'm not sure here. But this one looks very accurate. Let us check. So a price of 19,700. So it seems it's a new one. Hmm. Now I'm struggling, to be honest. Now I'm struggling. Someone or many, but on FTX, maybe possible, are longing with high leverage. Okay, let us go forward. So what we see here is that, well, first of all, as mentioned today, that's what FTX is doing. Some said that sometimes people are just thinking too complicated. That's just dump money. I don't reply to such comments anymore. I know that many of you have a lot of time. They love to comment. And I really, well, but no, that doesn't have anything to do with dump money. We can see a lot of dump money, but not in such a concentration. That's usually not dump money. In my opinion, we can see here three things. First of all, they're accumulating not to the sideway in a sideway run like we have seen in the past, but in a downward trend. And that's something interesting because actually that's what FTX did in the past, and afterwards they nuked with that. So it wouldn't surprise me that's part of a preparation. I don't know why they changed instead of sideway run, just go to accumulate in the downward run. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense much more than sideway run. Sideway run is something you can do just to fool people when because many of the people just think sideway run accumulation is bullish. It's not. Not always. However, if we take a look, I mean aggregated spot indicating they are distributing, while if FTX it's not distributing as you see, and Bitcoin collateral is also showing here more to the downside. Also the futures with stablecoins, even it's lifting up, and the price of course reacting to it. So I can imagine we are going to see such kind of dead cat bounce. I don't know how far. I would think something like 20,300 or something. Maybe go a little bit more up, 20,600 as a bull trap, and then go down even more. But that's a process. We have a very important week, and I can imagine that we can go very quick to the downside and really just break the 19K. So if we check here, of course, that's Coinbase, as usual, Coinbase. Sometimes they sell, but they are more on the buy side. If we check Gimini, let's check the 30 minutes, it makes more sense maybe. Also here, very interesting, not big, no big volume, but also buying. If we check Binance, Binance here is one of the most favorite exchanges by the market maker. We will check the market maker entity. It surprised me a lot, to be honest. Um, Also interesting, Bitfinex sold here, and then someone bought. Does that make sense? Huh. Looks strange a little bit. And we have Binance Perp. Of course, we have to load the right template, and we see that the funding rate is declining. Check the 30 minutes. It's declining, still relatively high. Open interest is going up, indicating they are more on the long side, still demanding longs, but more shorts than before. So the demand is flipping a little bit, indicating they are demanding right now a little bit more shorts than longs. So that also correlates very well to blockchain whispers indicating still too many longs on their balances. And you see how much, I mean, red, some green, but a lot of red coming in. If we check, I guess, oh Jesus, oh God, look, SPY, that's the market maker. Nice, that's nice. And what's Bitcoin doing? Nothing, absolutely nothing. Once again indicating and showing us how weak Bitcoin is looking? Nothing. Usually, the algos who are following SPY at the moment should push the price up. That's indicating they are distributing at the same time using the push look. Bitcoin price is even declining while SPY is just pushing. So we did our 108 on DXY. I don't think it's going. Many people are. It's over now to zero. No, it's not going to happen. It will maintain a very high level, but it's time hopefully to see 400 before it nukes, before SPY starts to nuke hard. So we need to see because we did 390. I was expecting 400. And Bitcoin looks extremely bearish. Jesus, that looks so. I think I'm going to flip too short and that's it. Or just stay away to see a higher price, but that doesn't look very good to be honest. So let us go forward and check what the market maker is doing. When the market maker not big. As you see, it correlates with the flow activity we have seen, but check that. That's crazy. That's just crazy. That's crazy. Not even last year they reduced their balances that much. Not even last year. In my opinion, that's pure distribution. I don't know if these guys know something, if they are, I don't know. I really don't know, but that's huge. Down, up, more down. That's huge. And also indicates we are absolutely not done. IT Tech was showing me, for example, and maybe I can, yeah, I can do that. Was showing me, for example, a new app that looks very interesting. I don't know what the name. Yeah, G Data. And he was mentioning that he can disable exchanges related, no, wallets linked to exchanges at entities with more than 10,000 Bitcoin. That's great because it will be the first data provider that can do that or is offering that because no one is doing that. And that was in the past my problem because I just said it doesn't make sense to me to analyze entities with more than 10,000 bitcoins when wallets there are still linked to exchanges, for example. And usually it's very simple to know if actually these wallets, if it makes sense what they are doing. We know some golden rules by whales. They accumulate and dip zones, and even when they are pushing to a bull run, and start to distribute then when we are close to the top. They start to distribute all the time. They push the price down again, generating fear. Then at the bottom, they start to accumulate to absorb from the weak hands. It's really easy. So he thanks IT Tech for providing me this chart because I don't have any access yet to GData. But um, he um, adjusted the settings and it's indicating all balances or all entities with more than 10,000 bitcoins without any exchange wallets. If we check their trade behavior, and that's why I called them here market makers. In green, we see the Bitcoin price, and in blue, we see their balances. If we check here, it's clearly indicating us an accumulation while the price, Bitcoin price, was lifting up. Close to actually, well, yeah, close to the top, they started to distribute. They did here break, and they distributed even more afterwards. This distribution has initiated a Bitcoin price crash. They have started to accumulate again at the bottom while initiating, as you can see here, it correlates very well, even better than sentiment, to be honest, uh, initiating fake rallies. Something it's what we know from market makers, or it's at least institutionals, they do when they're accumulating. And that's what they did here. Um, in particular, at the market makers, they missed, for example, to accumulate more to push the price up even to the new all-time high. In my opinion, just because of they were expecting a rejection for spot ETF, and at the same time because of the China ban. But this chart is from trade behavior indicating these guys know everything. They know everything. If you check how the price, Bitcoin price, correlates to their balances, reducing balances, okay, for example, here we have maybe an exception, even they pushed up, but then they distributed even more afterwards. And that's what they are doing. And that's why I'm saying since a while, these guys are extremely bearish. Extremely bearish. They declined even more the balances, and that's extremely bearish. But this chart here is indicating me they are the market makers. The price is driven by them, not by other entities. If we check, for example, this chart here, it's indicating distribution while the Bitcoin price was lifting up. They start to accumulate lately. It seems they started to distribute even before we have started this fake rally here. However, we can see what the price is doing. Let me take that out. And they have started to accumulate even more before we had our crash. So buying the top to the downside, then they lifted up, they accumulated a little bit more, just a little bit more, while the price was going down. Also something that looks a little bit strange. And they have to distribute, they have started to distribute just before our spring. Also something that's not indicating these guys are the best in trade behavior. Then they accumulated with the price. They distributed again at the bottom and while the price started to lift up. Then they started to accumulate again at the top and they started to distribute afterwards. And since then, they're accumulating, accumulating, accumulating. Now my question, does that here looks like a market maker? Do you think the market maker is going to accumulate the top and distribute the bottom? That's usually something that the dumb money is doing or exchanges. And that's my problem I have with this kind of entities. I'm not going to say that the data from G-Data is maybe wrong, but unfortunately it's indicating exactly the same what the other apps also showing. And that's why I don't like to see or to analyze those 10K plus entities, because their trade behavior is absolutely not good. It's not indicating these guys are really institutionals. They don't buy the top and sell the bottom. It's not what these guys are doing. But that's what this chart is indicating. If we check, for example, this here correlates very well to the fake rallies, and it's indicating that these guys here have the whole market in their hands. At the same time, we can see that these guys here have as maximum 2.9 million bitcoins, while these guys have almost, well, not the double, but 5 million bitcoins. So that's one reason why the market maker entities, or those entities with 1,000 to 10,000 bitcoins, are for me so relevant, to be honest. Because these guys, every time they declined their balances, the price had a big impact, a bearish one. Every time when the price went up after a while, when they started to accumulate, weeks later, we had a bull run, or we had at least a big rally. And that's something I'm still waiting for it. We need to be very careful, because these guys have the best trade behavior, the best timing, and it seems they have insider knowledge, or at least insider advantage. So we need to be very careful. However, also these guys, it seems they are not buying big, not accumulating, and these guys are accumulating, and well, retailers are buying, 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 buying. However, so I will maintain to my market makers, and yes, these guys are just um, declining their balances while bigger entities are rising in balances. The question is, who is behind and why it's happening them? Why are they rising, or in the past at least, they have raised their balances, for example, in the top of a price? I really don't know. I guess if I'm going to take the 10,000 here as well, oh, it should look almost, yeah, it's not exactly like in G data, but as you see, it's also indicating these guys are absorbing what the market maker is selling. If that's the case, the question is, why is the market maker selling? Nobody makes this question. We should make this question, because the market maker is the guy, or at least the entities and the holders, they were driving the market all the time. So why are these guys reducing their balances even more, and they didn't start to accumulate? In my opinion, because the bottom is not in. So that was a long chapter, but hopefully it was useful to you. And we will check now the exchange walls. So let us see what's happening here. Um, we go over right now to, yeah, I'm going to close my long, to be honest. This market is not longable. I feel much better just shorting it. It doesn't make sense to long that crap, to be honest. It's just always the same. Well, let us see. We are at the moment here on Coinbase. Coinbase not indicating, maintains like yesterday at 19, the biggest one at 18, 17.5, 17. A lot of volume here between 16.5 and 17, for example. So, yeah. looks very interesting, to be honest. Let us go forward. I mean, that's what we have seen yesterday as well. They're still limiting here at 20,800 and they reduced here at 19.3 Bitstamp 22k and a lot of volume just here 14 but nothing big as well. Binance Spot. Ah, Jesus, that's so insane. Yeah, a lot of volume waiting here, but also nothing big. Absolutely nothing big. Yeah, it's exactly the same we have seen yesterday. 19 here, Bitfinex. They are all limiting the way up. They don't have any interest to let the price go up. Even here you can see they removed this wall and are pushing more to the downside. It would make sense even to short that here because it seems they are really expecting we will maintain, we will go up, then more down, then more up, then more down. Look that. Also here. I don't know why my PC is so. So let me check also here what's happening. Wow, FTX perp. Look that. 21,300. The next one would be 18. And even here 20k. They don't want to let the price go up. That's it. They reduce the volume as you see here. Oh, come on. They reduced here the volume, but right now expecting 18k. So it wouldn't surprise me. Kraken, also the same at 18.9 and 18. So it seems option traders were right. Yeah, look that. I mean, that's crazy. Bitmax. Bitmax waiting here with almost 10 millions at 19.6 and we have wow 17.2 the next big wall. Bitfinex derivatives nothing big, just such a cluster of low volume. Kraken futures nothing. And FTX spot waiting here below 17k. In my opinion, that's going to be our bottom somewhere there between 16 and 17. Mark my words. Say whatever you want to say. Tell me, call me perma bear, whatever you want, but it's since weeks I'm checking every day these walls and the data that looks like really they want to push more down. Yeah, we can go up a little bit, then more down, then a little bit more up, then more down. Fake rallies and so on and so forth, but we are not done here. I don't think so. Binance futures limiting at 18.8. And of course here as well, not that big anymore, but also here it was obvious. Look that, oops. They don't want to let the price go up. More volume here than actually, as you see, for example, here, always almost empty, and even here, not that big. So it's so incredible, but it is that's it. I mean, that's that's the big thing. You know, they have the whole market in their hands. They can push the price more down without any problem, and very, very controlled everything. It's really smart what they are doing. So that's it. Let us talk about my personal conclusion. And by the way, my personal conclusion is only part of the paid version. So option trading and personal conclusion only for those who subscribes my Substack paid version. So just if you're wondering why I'm saying every time after the exchange walls, hey, no, let us talk about my personal conclusion. It's only part if you are paid subscriber. So let us go.